Okay, so what do you mean by average propensity to consume? Aparna,
Ma'am,
what?
when the proportion is expressed as ratio between total consumption expenditure and total income, it is termed as average propensity to consume.
Okay, what is the formula to find out? Irfan, APC is equal to, what is the formula? Karthik,
Um,
what is the
Total consumption expenditure by total income.
total consumption expenditure by total income expressed as C by Y? Okay. Next, marginal propensity to consume. What do you mean by marginal propensity to consume, Aishwarya?
Change in the consumption expenditure. It is the proportion of change in the consumption expenditure and change in the income.
That is what you mean by marginal propensity to consume. Tomlin, how to present it in a formula?
Ma'am, the
I can't hear.
ma'am changing ma'am delta C by delta Y.
Delta C by delta Y. Okay. Next, what do you mean by marginal propensity to save, Aparna?
Ma'am, propensity to save is a proportion of income saved.
Income saved. Okay. Formula?
Ma'am, total savings divided by total income.
Total savings divided by total income. Okay. That is average propensity to save. What is the formula to find out marginal propensity to save? Irfan, do you know?
yes, ma'am.
What is that?
I'm changing saving by changing income.
Changing saving by change in income or delta y,
Uh,
delta S by
yes, by
delta
delta Y.
Y. Okay. Now, next, few more things to be added in that. Just 1 minute. Now, in this, I told you marginal propensity to save. It is mainly related to marginal propensity to consume. It is a relation it is a ratio between consumption expenditure and the change in income. Oh, just 1 minute. Yes. Few figures also I told you, problems also I told you. In that one point, what I told, that is, yeah, here I told it is, I was mentioning minus here, that was wrong. Okay. So just it is 0.20 only. That's what I told you. I'll tell you later. Okay. So it is, these are the few things related to propensity to save. Now here, I hope you can see this 1 rupee and what is written on the board. Yes? Yes or no? Oh, okay. 1 rupee. APC is equal to 0.80. So from 1 rupee, average propensity to consume is 0.80. So what will be average propensity to save? Can you tell?
0.20.
0.20. Okay, how you got that? From 0.80 in the sense it means average propensity to consume, in the sense 0.80 in the sense it is 80 paisa. Okay, 80 paisa. So 80 paisa if you reduce from 1 rupee, that will be 20 paisa, and that 20 paisa is 0.20. Okay, so from this we are getting a relation, that is what is the relation between this APC and APS or MPC and MPS. Okay, APC plus APS is equal to 1, MPC plus MPS is equal to also is equal to 1. So from this we can derive the following also. If you want to find out APC, you have to reduce 1 minus APS. You have to reduce APS from 1. APS is equal to 1 minus APZ. MPC is equal to 1 minus MPS. and MPS is equal to 1 minus MPC. Done? Now here I told that if in an example income level is 100 when the consumption expenditure is 120, here you know that income is less than consumption, so the saving will be always in negative. Okay, so at this level what is the answer you got? Minus 0.2. Then I told that if this is 0.2, then how to get what will be for APC? So it will be, how did you get this APC from this? Always you know that income is equal to consumption plus saving. So one part you got, how to get the other part? You can minus it. So always we assume that y is equal to 1, like that you assume. So 1 is equal to C plus or APS, here it is given APC plus APS is equal to 1. So to get this APC from this, what you have to do, Irfan? APS is given, that is 0.2. Income is 1. How to get APC? Or these two together, you know it is 1. So how to get APC? Sorry, APS, Irfan?
1 minus 0.2.
1 minus 0.2. Is it 1 minus 0.2? Just see, look at that 0.2. Something is there along with that.
Negative.
Yeah, negative is there. So 1 minus 0.2. So you know what will happen. So APC will be 1.2. So 1.2 plus minus 2 minus 0.2, you will be getting 1. Okay. Now next one, the value of MPS like MPC, that varies from 0 to 1. Okay. So like MPC, the value of MPS also varies from 0 to 1. How it is? When the entire addition to income is spent on consumption, that means there is no saving at all. Okay. Full addition to income, full increase to an income that we are spending on consumption and we are not saving anything. So that time saving is 0. So MPS will be 0. Now sometimes what happen, entire addition to income, entire increase in an income, entire increase, when I say, I told that 1000 was the previous income, it is increased to 1200. From this 200, 100 is consumed, 100 is saved. If it is like that, that means from this increase, little bit we are consuming for, we are using for consumption, little bit we are using for saving. This can be one situation. Another situation, fully this 200 can be spent on consumption and there is 0 saving. Another one more situation is given, that is fully nothing is spent for consumption, fully it is saved. So this can be another situation. So whenever the addition to income is spent on consumption where saving is 0, then MPS will be 0, and when what happens, entire addition to income is saved, that time MPS will be 1. Got it everyone? Next one. Now here in your textbook they have given, even though I told that it is a 2-sector model, they have given a role of government in that. Okay. Even though there is a role of government, that will be deducted. That is what they have given by this paragraph. Just see that whatever major activities the government is doing, undertaking, it will affect the demand for goods and services. For example, if government spent any money that will increase the demand for products. For example, see, you think that government is spending money on construction of a road. That means government is demanding whatever they want whatever they want to produce for the road. They want cement, they want stones and all those things, metals and all those things they want, so they are demanding. Okay, so here what they are telling that it affects the aggregate demand for final goods and services. Okay, at the same time you can see that this expenditure they met how they are going to get through the taxes here. So in this what we are analyzing, it is autonomous, it is not changing. That is what we are analyzing. Okay, now even though they spent money on goods and services, even though they spent money on goods and services or anything like that, like other firms or households, when they spend money, that will add to aggregate demand. The same way they are also spending money, but what they are telling, taxes imposed by the government take an income from the household. Okay, that means you have studied about disposable income which is there in the hands of people, which can be used for consumption. So from that we have reduced what? We have reduced something from that. So from income we have reduced something to get the disposable income. What is that? Can anyone say?
Expenditure.
Tax it is. Okay, so here what they have given with this formula, what do you mean by this? YD is equal to, Y is what here? What do you mean by Y? Anyone? Income. So from income what are they reducing? T means what here? Tax. Okay, so they are reducing tax. So here, even though the government is spending money, even though increasing, their demand is increased, how are they meeting this demand? They are spending money, right? From where they are getting this money? Tax. So they are just putting a point that they are meeting. I mean, these two meets, it will be cancelled. Okay, the taxes they use it for consumption. So that point we are not taking into consideration of a two-sector model. Okay, so this is just a paragraph. There is no necessary to give it in your textbook. This they have given one paragraph related to the expenditure by the government. Okay, next one. How are we determining, how are we going to determine the income equilibrium in the two-sector model? So what is the formula for AD? What is the formula for AD? Aparna? What is the formula for AD?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the formula for AD? AD is what now?
Ma'am, aggregate demand.
Aggregate demand. Okay. What is the formula? In this you have learned first in the beginning. What is that?
Ma'am, C bar plus CY.
C bar plus aggregate demand. What you are telling is C consumption, right? See, there is investment also, right? How you got that curve? Investment is here, consumption is here. Then these two together, when you are adding, you will get the aggregate demand. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the method through which you are getting this AD, components of AD? What is the formula? C bar plus I bar plus CY. That is the formula for AD. What is the formula for supply, aggregate supply? Aishwarya?
C plus S.
C plus S. Okay, so there also, say you remember one, what is that? One graph I made you to do. Yes or no? AS. What is the speciality of AS? What is the speciality of AS?
45 degree.
45 degree. Okay. So in one area, what we have taken? Consumption. Another area? investment also will be there. Okay, so see, one more thing I told you, AS is equal to what? Something I told you, national income. Okay, that is also equal to same C plus I plus CY. Okay, so aggregate supply, see, whenever we want to get an equilibrium, it should be there at a point where aggregate demand will be equal to aggregate supply. Okay, so the components they have given, it is related to consumption and investment. Okay, now in this A bar, how did you get? What they have taken, this is A bar is autonomous actually. How we have got that? This C and I is taken out and it is considered as A bar. That A bar means autonomous. So here at last we are coming to a conclusion, Y is equal to A bar plus C point Y. Now once more let me explain. The term Y, what is given here on the screen, the term Y, what do you mean by term Y? That represents ex ante output or the planned supply of final goods. How much aggregate supply? Planned one. Okay. On the other side, what is given? That is ex ante planned aggregate demand for final goods and services in the economy. Now always, to get an equilibrium, supply should be always equal to demand. Then only the economy will be in equilibrium. So ex ante supply and ex ante demand should be same in the market to get an equilibrium of the economy. Once more I will show you that graph. This is AS, this is AD. This C plus I we are taking as A bar. So Y is equal to A bar plus CY. Okay, now this is what they are showing here, that is related to this one. Okay, investment curve, where what is the speciality of this investment, Karthik? What is the speciality of this investment? This
Autonomous.
It is autonomous. What do you mean by autonomous here?
It remains the same.
It remains the same and it is independent of income. Okay, as income increases, investment is not increasing. There is no dependency here. Okay, now, so this is investment graph. Now, another one what is shown on this side, that is consumption graph. This one, consumption graph. Here also you can see one line is staying here, that is investment. Along with that we have drawn consumption. C bar you can see. What do you mean by that C bar, Anjo? What is C bar? What is the speciality of C bar? What do you mean by that, Anjo? Hmm? Hannah, everyone switch on your video. See. Switch on, everyone, fast. All should not have a Wi-Fi problem. Huh? Irfan, Anila, Basil, Hannah, switch on. Yes, what do you mean by this C bar? Anjo, what do you mean by that? Hmm? Do you know or not? If you don't know, I'll go to another person.
Ma'am.
You don't know. Okay, Tomlin, what about you?
Ma'am, consumption.
It is consumption, but there is a speciality for that consumption. You can see income is 0 here. Income is 0 here, but still consumption is this much. So what do we call for that? Tomlin? No, don't know. Aditya? Any idea what it is? Nobody knows what it is. It is investment. C bar it is.
Autonomous consumption.
Autonomous consumption. My God, from the beginning till this end, I feel I have told this. And how it will be investment. See, don't confuse this line. This line is for investment, that you leave it. Here, it is showing that with this income, they are consuming this much. That is autonomous consumption. What do you mean by autonomous consumption? Amal, can you tell? What is autonomous consumption? See, all these things you should understand and keep it in your mind. There should not, it should not be that you should tell me later, or you have to keep it in your mind. You should know what it is. What do you mean by that autonomous consumption? Karthik, can you tell?
Man, it remains. Sorry. When the income is 0, some consumption will take place.
Some consumption will take place. Okay, what do you call for it?
Autonomous consumption.
Autonomous consumption. Now, why is it called as autonomous consumption? Any idea?
Because it is independent.
Yes, very good. It is independent of income. So, I feel that now again I should tell all these things. C bar is what, I bar is what, right? Huh? Okay. Now, this orange, what I have ticked, that is consumption function. Okay. What it shows there, here you can see that here what I have written, it is income. This line symbolize income. Okay. At that income, this much consumption takes place. Even though here you can see it is a 0 income. Income is 0. Even then income is 0, the consumption take place. Why is it so? Because even though when we are not earning anything, we have to consume. Otherwise, we will not live. That assumption we have taken, and we are telling that it is, that part is independent of income. That we call it as autonomous consumption. Got it? Now, so one, I told you, this is investment. This one is consumption. So two graphs. Now we are bringing that together to get what? Aggregate demand. Okay. So here, this is investment. It is shown. This is the consumption function. So here till M, this is what? Autonomous consumption here. Okay. Now C is equal to what? C bar plus Cy. That is autonomous consumption plus whatever we are consuming according to the income. Cy is what now? Who can say what do you mean by CY?
Consumption that is dependent on the income.
Consumption that is dependent on income. That means as the income increases, you can see consumption also increases. Otherwise, we can say as income decreases, consumption also decreases. Okay. So here also these two graphs we are bringing together to get the aggregate demand. Okay. So here this is investment, this is consumption. These two together, if you add, you will get this line, that is aggregate demand. Okay, so this table and all I made you to do, how to find out that aggregate demand, I made you to draw that graph also. So again just showing that how it becomes. Okay, so first investment, this is consumption, these two together we will get the aggregate demand. So when we add this, you will get AD curve. Now next one, we are talking about aggregate supply. So aggregate supply and aggregate demand we are bringing together to get the equilibrium point. Okay. Now aggregate supply, what is the speciality we are talking here? GDP will move up and down because there are some unused resources in our country that is available. So whenever the things are supplied, what we are assuming that price level has no role to play. So the situation, or I told you two things are equal to make you to get the supply curve. What is that? Two things will be same to get the supply curve. In the table you have written that, just check that fast, check fast. Two things, it will be same, I told you. Then what is that? Just check fast. When you draw that supply curve, I told that first income, then one more will be same. By adding that, just check fast.
And is it aggregate supply?
It is aggregate supply, but which aggregate supply and what will be the same?
Income.
Income will be same. Okay, so here what we are telling here, it will be a 45 degree line. Okay, so this 0 is to be put up. Okay, it is a degree 1. So it is come like this. Okay, so it will be a 45 degree line because aggregate supply will be equal to income. So that is the speciality of aggregate supply curve. Whenever you draw that, it is actually, there is no need to take a special measurement or anything like that. If you draw in between the x-axis and y-axis, exactly in the middle, that will be a 45 degree line that represents the aggregate supply curve. Now when will be getting the equilibrium? That is the topic here. When we can have the equilibrium. So here this is supply curve, that is aggregate supply curve. What is the speciality of there? It is given 45 degree. What you see here, that is AD. Now where the AD and AS meets, there we can get the equilibrium. Now when we say aggregate demand and aggregate supply, it is ex ante aggregate demand and ex ante aggregate supply. What do you mean by ex ante now? What is ex ante? Elvina, can you tell?
It is planned or expected before the event.
Planned or expected before the event. So whatever we have planned before the real equilibrium to happen, that will help us to find out the equilibrium. Or maybe the aggregate supply is not happened, whatever we have planned, that aggregate supply and demand, when it comes together, that point we can get the equilibrium. Okay, so here it is graphically putting together aggregate demand and supply together in a diagram. It is when we will have the equilibrium, that is when aggregate demand and aggregate supply is in equilibrium. Tomlin, can you tell that at which point this is in equilibrium? Point was some one number. letter is given, which point it is?
Ma'am, E.
Point E. So point E is considered as a equilibrium where the aggregate supply and aggregate demand is equal. Okay. So these are the few things related to equilibrium. Now once more. Yes. What do you mean by propensity to consume? What do you mean by propensity to consume? Hanna, can you tell what it is? What is propensity to consume?
It means the proportion of income
It
spent
is?
on consumption.
It is? Once more.
It is proportion of income spent on the consumption.
It is a proportion of income spent on consumption. Okay. Amal, can you tell the formula for that? Propensity to consume. What is the formula?
And C by Y.
What is it? I didn't hear.
Not C by Y.
Yeah, C by Y. Okay. Now, what do you mean by average propensity to consume? Average propensity to save? Aishwarya, can you tell?
It is the proportion of total savings by total income.
It is a proportion of total savings by total income. Okay, now in this, did I give a problem in this to solve? Not this one, any one more did I give? No, I think, right? Just 1 minute. Okay, now here, yeah, second one. Example, just write it down. If the income level is, if the income level is if the income level is 1500, if the income level is 1500 and the consumption expenditure is 1200, consumption expenditure is 1200, what will be the saving and APS? Saving and APS. Consumption expenditure 1200, what will be saving and APS? How to find out APS? It is given. $1,500 is income. 1200 spent. Find savings, then APS. The second one only I wanted. Got it? Helvina, you got the savings?
Yes, ma'am.
How much is the saving?
Negative 300.
No, savings negative 300. How come negative? Income is 1500, right? From that, how much is consumed?
1200.
1200. So, are we consuming more than our income?
No.
No. When we consume more than our income, then only it will be minus. Okay. Now, here in this example, what I have given, the person has consumed within the income and income is remaining little bit. So, how much will be saving?
300.
300. Okay, so whenever you see that, whether it is to get minus, in this example what I gave, for example in this example you see 100 is the income, but expenditure you see 120, so that is more than your income. When it is more than your income, only the savings will become negative. Okay, if it is less than that, it will be positive. Okay, Aditya, did you get APS?
Yes, ma'am.
How much it is?
0.2.
0 point? It's not audible. Karthik, you got?
0.2.
0.2. Okay, now how can we get APC? What is APC? Find out. This one also extra I didn't give. Got it? Aishwarya, how much?
0.8.
0.8. Okay, you know that always from 1, if you reduce APS, you will be getting APC. Now, one more question. Income is rising from 5,000 to 6,000. Okay. Consumption is increasing. Okay, savings, let me give a savings, that is better. Savings are increasing from, it was 800 before, it is increased to 1000. How will you get MPS? Got it? Aishwarya, how much you got?
0.2.
Same.
Yes.
Okay, wait. Now I'll give another one then. let it be same 5000 to 5000 income increase from 5000 to 6000. Consumption I'll give as consumption. So what you have, if I give consumption, what you should do, Karthik? Karthik.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, if I give consumption, what you should do? How will you find out?
You should calculate savings.
You should calculate savings, then MPS. I want you to find out MPS. Okay. So here consumption is 4000. So first calculate the savings. Oh, just 1 minute. Let it be 3000. Okay. So the savings is, what is the saving here? $6,000. How much savings you get here? First one, from 5000 to 3000. If 3000 is the consumption, so what is the saving there? Aishwarya?
2000.
2000. Okay, now what happened? Income increased to 6000. There the savings can be 2000. Okay, 2000. No, it should not be reduced. Consumption, it is 3500. So what will be the savings, Karthik?
2,500.
Okay, so it is increased or decreased?
Increased.
Okay, find out now. Irfan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what was the previous income? Previous income in this example?
3,000.
Is it income?
Sorry, 5,000.
5000. It is increased to how much?
6,000.
6000. What is the consumption?
3,500.
3000 in the beginning, previous one. When he was having 5000 income, what was the income? What was the consumption?
3,000.
3000. When it is increased to 6000, what is the consumption?
3,500.
500. Now I told you to find out MPS, that is related to saving. Yes? Now how to get that?
500 by 1,000.
5? Is it 500? See how you will get, see here MPS is what now? What is the formula for MPS? Grishma, can you tell what is the formula for MPS?
Delta S by delta Y.
Delta S by delta Y. Now delta S means what?
Change in saving.
Change in savings. Here what they have given, income and consumption. Yes. So how to find out the savings? Savings in the first position, how much it is, find out. Savings in the second position, find out. If you find the difference, you will get the delta S. Find the difference between the savings. Find the difference between the income. Anila? Anila? Can you hear me? Aparna?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in the first position, what difference, I mean first and between second, first savings difference, how much you got?
Ma'am, 2,000.
2000. Okay, so here what is the difference? What saving you got in the first position?
Ma'am, 2000,
2000. Okay. Second one
2500.
2500. So what change happened here?
Ma'am, saving is increased.
So what is that? Delta S is what?
Ma'am, 500.
500. Delta Y
Ma'am, 1000.
1000. So did you get MPS?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay,
0.5.
just wait. 1 minute. Elvina, you got MPS?
No, ma'am.
No. Did you get savings difference? How much it is?
2000, 2500.
Okay, 2000, 2500. That is saving actually. Yes. Now change in saving, how much it is? What change how much change happened in savings? It is, oh no, how much it is? Number
500.
500. So that you got delta S, right? What is delta Y?
Total income. Change in income.
Change in income. So here first it was 5000, second it was 6000. That much change. So what how much changed?
1000.
1000. So how to find out MPS? You got delta S also, delta Y also. How to get that? Find out. Amal, you got? Yes. How much?
0.5.
0.5. What about Karthik?
Same answer, ma'am.
Anjo?
Yes, ma'am.
Answer you got?
Yes.
Okay, so what will be MPC?
0.5.
0.5.
5.
How did you get that?
1 minus 0.5.
1. Very good, very good. Okay. So here, so this is how we are finding. So this I wanted to give actually that savings increased and how to find out. I think I didn't give a problem for on this. Okay. So here equilibrium, I told that when we will be getting the equilibrium, at what point we'll be getting equilibrium. Hadi, can you tell? Hadi, you heard what I said? When we can have equilibrium. Hadi. No. Basil, did you hear? When will be the equilibrium position? Basil,
Yes, ma'am.
when will be equilibrium position? Did you hear what I said?
Again, demand.
Tell, what you are telling is correct. Tell.
Aggregate demand and supply.
Aggregate supply and is equal to aggregate demand. Okay, so this is the area where the equilibrium position we can find. So this little more is there in this chapter. I'll be explaining that in the next class. Okay, thank you very much. Bye everyone. So now see, all videos are off. Sir will call me and tell. Okay.